All right, welcome to Inside Georgia High School Recruiting. I'm your host, Najeh Wilkins. We have a jam-packed show for you guys for today, so make sure you stick around. Subscribe to the Score Atlanta YouTube page, man, and make sure you guys follow us, obviously, on all our social media handles. I'm at Najeh Wilkins and at Score Atlanta. Okay, so what's in store for today? Well, guys, we got a treat for you. I was at a paddy camp at McEachern High School. A lot of standout prospects was in attendance and standout teams. We'll go through that here in the first few segments. Then coming up, we'll have interviews with Trupp of Greenbrier, shining the light, obviously, on an underrated but a star player, in my humble opinion. Troy Stiggers also joins the show to recap his official visit to Old Dominion and much, much more. An official visit coming up to Georgia State. And obviously Toledo, he's hoping to schedule here very soon. And then we also catch up with Julian Colvard, who's probably one of the biggest insiders here in the state of Georgia when it comes to kids, their visits, their offers, and when they're coming near a decision. So stay tuned for all that throughout the show. All right, let's get started with the padded camps. I believe we're going to start with Columbia. Let me give a shout out to my guy, Greg Barnett. All right, now who you're seeing here, this is Jaquan Carr from Newton. We will talk about him in here in just a second. But Columbia was wearing the orange, and they did an outstanding job in, I thought, the padded camp. And I don't know what it is about Coach Greg Barnett, but he got these guys playing at a high level. I mean, defensively, you can make the argument. We'll talk about McEachern here in a little bit. But you can make the argument this might be one of the better secondaries as well when you look across the state. They're very physical. They defend at a high level. You're going to see on a couple clips here just them drawing the ball loose as it's in the air. Just very sticky, tight, saran wrap coverage throughout, obviously, the day. And I think he has something special. A few years ago, he had Jaden Ball, who's now at Florida. And obviously, he's getting a lot of accolades as we hit the preseason now in terms of college football. But we look at Columbia, really great size up front, really good tailbacks that can run it. The quarterback is very underrated, but he looks strong and physical, a little bit taller and physical than their other quarterback. But, I mean, you talk about Coach Greg Barnett. I mean, he's building something special down there in Columbia. Another team, obviously, I did my sleepers on ScoreATL.com, but another team that you guys need to know is the Columbia Eagles. There's a lot of great players all across the board. They got athletes, number 7, number 5. I'm sorry I couldn't name Mark. I didn't have enough time to reach out, but some guys that can play at a high level. Columbia, with Coach Greg Barnett, it's going to be a team to watch this year. They schedule very tough. They're going to play Douglas County, obviously, this year, and several other notable programs, but that is how they're able to make it into their region. That's going to be a team to know. All right, let's go to our next one, Graham. All right, so obviously here is a clip. This is CJ Peoples trying to get out quick, and this is the saran wrap coverage I'm talking about, right? Just number 5 all over the receiver, right? Doesn't interfere, gets a nice PBU, right? Not much more Peoples can do there, as you guys can see on this clip, but good job just dislodging it. He tries to get it out quick. Boom. Good play on the ball. I mean, you can see, obviously, what these guys can do for Columbia. All right, so this is a name that we're going to talk about more in the show a little bit later. This is obviously Stockbridge, but Gavin Kitchen actually had a day, and he's a 2028 recruit, and he's going to be one to know, guys. And the reason I say that is because his ability to get yak yardage, right, his ability to catch, in those tight windows with defenders draped all over him, I think this kid has a very, very special talent. Now, what's crazy is Stockbridge has guys all over the field, right? They got a Javon Medlock. They have a Mason McKnight. Their receiving core is super deep when you look at Stockbridge, and that really makes them potent in 4A this year. We know last year they went 9-1, one of the better teams obviously in 4A, but before having to vacate their wins. But when you look at, obviously, Gavin Kitchen, he adds a whole nother dynamic, which we'll talk about a little bit more later, but he is also a very special player. All right. So obviously here, this is Newton. Got a chance to see him obviously at Georgia Tech 7-on-7. But this is Deron Benson. Very nice, tall, obviously athletic quarterback. But here, just buying time, right? Didn't like his first read, second read. Okay, let me use my athletic ability, get to the outside right here, and pick up some nice yards. He did that throughout the day, guys. I know it's a simple highlight, but just I love his ability not to force a pass, not to force a play, but instead take what the defense gives you, get the positive yardage. That is a good telltale sign. It is still very early, but it is summer, y'all, so we are almost approaching the end of July. So remember, you want your quarterback to be making the right decisions at this time, and Benson has been doing that for Newton. All right, and yeah, this is the kid. We can stay on here for a little while. Jaquan Carr really caught my eye when I went out there, early on, obviously in the camp, and I mean he has really good tools as a receiver. Now they got Omarion Wallace, who we had in the studio for the first couple of shows of Inside Georgia High School Recruiting, but this guy's a name to know. He is a junior. He'll be a rising senior, but this kid can catch the ball at his high point, doesn't care about press coverage against him, right? Can get in and out of his breaks fast. And like I said, he's a great catcher of the football. So a lot of people don't know this name, but when you look at Newton and a team that wants to contend out there in 6A, they're in the same region with a Grovetown, with obviously the defending state champion Grayson. You're going to need guys and athletes like this, like an Omarion Wallace, and much more. I think Coach Skelton knows that. And you can see that here, obviously, on this play, right? Nothing too bad. Gets it out quick. A nice zig route in the inside. Cooks the defender, obviously, for the easy pitch and catch. So underrated part of his game is that route running. But as you guys can see here, look, goes in, cuts out, easy money inside, obviously, for the touchdown. So you can see what he can bring to the table. So that's going to be a name to note. Jaquan Carr for Newton Rams at the wide receiver spot has exceptional upside. And then here, I wanted to bring this up. I'm going to have you play this again, Graham. But this one right here, this is just making a play. I should have slowed it down a little bit, but I'm going to have Graham pause it right about there. So as you see right there, so for those that don't know at home that's watching, that is KJ Green, right? That, like I said, 4-star prospect. Everybody in the country wants him. Obviously very high on South Carolina. There would be much, much more. But what I like here is he didn't give up on the play. Now, he beats, obviously, the offensive tackles you guys can see right there. But he's slipping at the same time. And he's falling down. But what KJ does and what makes him so great, he doesn't quit on the play. He's like, man, I'm slipping. He could have gave up right there. He still, miraculously, somehow, guys, is still able to make a play on the quarterback and get the sack, as you guys can see right there. That's an exceptional play from KJ Green and just a microcosm of how lethal and how potent he can be, even when he's slipping and falling down to the ground. All right, and here this was a pitch and catch. Now, in my opinion, I think Mason McKnight obviously had a great day, who obviously catches the ball here. But here we just want to see him get up the field, right? Don't pause, don't wait. Go quick up the field. And a lot of his coaches after this play was telling him that, right? Boom, as soon as you catch it, go up the field. Don't hesitate, don't wait. But I will say McEachern does have a really good secondary. They really do. It's very special. It's very talented. But McKnight was another one, along with a Kitchen, who was making a lot of plays, obviously, at the Paddock camp, as you guys can see. But just Joshua Scott's going to have so many weapons to get the ball to this year and be able to get it out to them in space, let them make a play, make the defender miss, and just allow them guys to torch the defense. And this is what I'm talking about right here. I mean, I'm going to have Graham play this a couple times, but it's too easy, right? This is against Cedar Grove, but as you guys can see, he just separates from the defense, and it just makes it look easy. And that's what makes him special, right? His deep threat ability. And if you're Joshua Scott, you have a guy you can get the ball to down the field. If the first read, second read is not there, you got a guy that can take the top off the defense. And that is what Mason obviously presents to them. Obviously, great play there. He looks to his left, doesn't like what he says, go back to his second progression, and then absolutely bombs them. Easy pitch and catch for Stockbridge. Seeing that throughout the day, y'all. I'm going to be honest. Seeing that throughout the day. And like I said, their playmakers are so talented. They're going to have so many elite guys, on the outside. And what's so crazy is they're young. You look at a Josh Scott at the quarterback spot, 2027 quarterback, rising junior, right? We talk about Kitchen, 2028, you know what I'm saying? Wide receiver, athlete, Mason McKnight, 2028, wide receiver. A lot of young thoroughbreds out there. Javon Medlock, 2029, young guy. I mean, Coach Bama, got to give him credit, and obviously Stockbridge team. And they are developing these guys at a high level. And I would not be surprised if they make a little noise in 4A this year, right? I know they're young. I know sometimes young, you're talented, you got to take your lumps. But when I see a team that went 9-1 and returns a good portion of what they're bringing back, that says a lot. But guys, that's going to conclude, obviously, this segment right here. Just looking at the first part of the Paddock camp. Guys, we obviously highlighted there Mason McKnight, Gavin Kitchen, KJ Green, Jaquan Carr. We're going to have so many more, obviously, to highlight in the next segment. But don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. Come right back here on the YouTube channel and, obviously, Peachtree Sports Network. All right, welcome back to Inside Georgia High School Recruiting. This is our next segment, but we're going to start off with the McEachern Indians, man. The team that's going to be featured on the Corkel Dave Hunter Classic this upcoming season. And I'll tell you what, y'all. Ooh, McEachern is dangerous. Yeah, I said it. They're dangerous. I know what you're going to say. Well, they always have a good team. I never go over the hump, but I believe in Coach Reed. I believe in Coach Kareem Reed, and I think this team, they got some hitters. We're going to obviously see it right here, in our photos, in the video that we got captured there. But, I mean, you look at, obviously, these two guys, and forgive me, like I said, I'm still learning the names. I'm still new to you guys, but I do want to give you guys a shout out on the show. But they were tearing it up. Number 8 made a spectacular play. One of them, they said he was out of bounds. I was like, there's no way he was out of bounds. Made just a nice, went up, grabbed it, put his toe down, spin, went all the way to the end zone, man. These two guys right here are special, and that's not even counting what else they have, right? Really good offensive line, as always. No surprise, they're the offensive line coach does a phenomenal job developing these guys. They're going to be able to run it, and they're going to be able to throw it. I mean, that's just that's what it is. And this guy right here, Casey Barner. So, look, Casey, I'm giving you a shout-out. I'm obviously texting you right now. I don't think I got a bunch of clips of you at the camp, unfortunately. I didn't have a lot of time, man, but I did get this photo. Casey, you are special, brother. I think you know that. And I really believe you're going to be the difference maker for this team this year. Just your ability on both sides of the ball. I know they got some young thoroughbreds coming in there too. But with you manning the safety spot, I think this team has a chance to potentially compete and make some noise in the postseason this year. Yeah, I said it, postseason. I think you guys can make some noise. I think this is probably one of the best secondaries we have here in this state. I really do. I really do believe that. And there's only a couple. You got to throw McEachern in there. Then you got to throw Brookwood in there. And Columbia would be another team I would throw in, obviously, at the DB spot. But very, very talented crop of players. As soon as Casey hits me back, I will go ahead and reveal some of those players. Was number 21 and number 3, some of the guys that were just standing out. But till then, we'll keep going. All right, what we got next? This is the quarterback. So his name is Kelvin Pittman Jr., and what's interesting about him, he's a true dual threat. He got a pretty strong arm, in my humble opinion, and, I didn't capture on this part of the film, but his ability to kind of dissect the defense is something that really caught my eye. His ability to pinpoint where to go with the football, and he was delivering some strikes in some tight windows. One of the plays, the receiver couldn't quite come up with it, but he hit him right in the fingertips. Now, obviously, receiver's coming, and it's right here. So, sometimes when you try to catch it like that, it kind of slips out. But I really love his accuracy and his ability, like I said, to dissect the defense. I think he's only getting started, and I think McEachern has a legit quarterback in Pittman Jr., in my humble opinion. Really another guy that impressed me for the Indians. Yeah, and here just obviously this is the Newton program. Got a chance to obviously see them up close. Just obviously talking with the coaching staff. But another team, like I said, they're loaded with athletes. They got guys all over the field. Amarian Wallace, who we've talked about. Number 4 for Newton at this Patty camp was another one that obviously stood out to me, what he was able to do. They got guys all over. We talked about the wide receiver spot. They're going to be able to run the ball. Kevin Hartsfield is a name to know for those that are out there that don't know, 2028 class. I would say he's underrated. I think coaches know a lot about him, and I think the world is going to know about him even more so after this season. But last year ran for close to over 800 yards? When you have that at the tailback spot, you feel really good. So Newton will be talented yet again. It's just, can you defeat the Giant? Giant right now is Grayson. But I think Coach Skelton, that coaching staff, they're going to be ready to go. But it's going to be, and I think they got a quarterback to do it. I think they got Benson. He's going to make some noise. But can they make the key plays down the stretch of games? If it's a 19-14 game, can they bring that out? That's going to be the key question there for Newton. But they are talented as ever. Yeah, and then here, obviously, we're going to play this again. But, yeah, Sergio Mason, man, let's talk about him for Stephenson. Doesn't always get the love that he deserves, but we're going to talk to Troy Stiggers later. But when you look at Troy Stiggers, you look at Sergio, you look at, obviously, the play we talked about earlier with KJ Green. Sergio's the guy up in the middle that's just a difference maker. And, he's really talented, underrated because of his size, but he's going to be a guy this year that's going to be very pivotal for, obviously, the Stephenson football team moving forward. So Sergio Mason is a name to know. Very special kid, really good character, really good, just man off the field as well. And then I'm going to have to hit up Coach Rock on this one. Number 24, I know that was not Jaden Johnson. Jaden J2 Johnson was getting a lot of love from recruits, and I know that probably was not Anthony Booker. I have to have Coach correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this was their second, maybe third string, but he was toting the ball. I want to give him credit. That's why I have him on here. He was toting the ball, he was toting the rock, and a lot to bring down. So, I think that talks to the depth that this team has this year, being able to run the ball with 3 different backs. And this is who they call Baby Puka. Just for the hair, that's the reason they call him that. But another kid, special weapon for them on the outside. Expect for him to make a lot of plays with obviously Adrian Bowler throwing him the football. But when you're Stephenson and you have a guy like this, and you can run the ball with J2, you can run the ball with Anthony Booker, and you got some talented weapons that are young but talented on the outside, you feel really good about your squad moving forward. A team that made the semifinals last year looking to make some more noise. Remember, they lost to the eventual state champion Calhoun in the postseason, but Stephenson is loaded, and I don't know, maybe we will see, but I told Coach Rock I will try this year to play for his team to get on TV. I think they're that talented, and they should be. That is a very special program here in the state of Georgia. Yeah, and here, obviously, some great photos from, just the padded camp. Stockbridge, another team I really like in 4A, really good. And in here, you just see their pursuit, right? Making the quarterback step up in the pocket. I felt like throughout the camp, they were just generating pressure, whether it was the first team or whether it was the second team. They continuously created pressure throughout the camp and made it very difficult for the quarterback to feel comfortable, made them into some bad decisions and reads, and forced a good bit of turnovers as well. And then last but not least, obviously, you got to talk about Westlake. Now, Westlake, I didn't get a chance to see fully in this camp. I've seen a couple bigs and specks of obviously them, but you have to start this conversation when you talk about Westlake with Deion Thomas, obviously, who just recently committed to the University of Connecticut. They got another guy that's going to blow up here as well. I have to reach out to their staff. I didn't have enough time. But number 11, he is big. He's massive at the wide receiver spot. Looks like he's a good 6'5", 6'6". So that should be another guy that should blow up for them. And also very talented running backs, as well for when you look at the Westlake program. But they're going to be an interesting team to watch here, obviously, in their classification. But some really good wideouts and weapons and good athletes, obviously, on the defensive side of the ball. Not going to lie to you, I'm going to have Graham pause this. This is an insane play. And the reason this is insane, I have not seen this in person. The only person I've seen do this in person is Tyreek Hill, right? But to have a celebration mid-play, he was like this mid-play. You guys are going to see what I'm talking about. But that is insane to think about, a player mid-play with a celly, But that is what I believe Gavin Kitchens does here, as you guys can see. Does it celly right in the face and everything? He just had a day. When you look at the run and you see the versatility, him running the ball, him catching the ball. When you have that in your coach Bama, you're like, whoa, okay, we got talented playmakers. And it just re-illustrates my point I've been bringing up. This team is very talented. They should be very good this year. A lot of different things you can do when you got a quarterback that's mobile, when you got versatile playmakers all over the field. And they got another player we didn't even talk about, number 4. I'm still trying to get his name. But he is very tall and athletic as well. So very talented group. Really good team, and they're going to be obviously potent moving forward. They're going to have a squad moving forward. I didn't get Casey to text me back in time, but I did want to tell you guys number 21, number 6, and number 3 on the defensive back side are going to be names to know. When we have other shows, I'll probably mention them as well, but they absolutely did their thing today in the padded camp. And like I said, Coach Reed is going to have an arsenal that he's obviously working with this year, man. So, yeah, that is my thoughts. My biggest takeaways, like I said, 4A, don't sleep on Stockbridge. Stephenson, I think, got things handled in 3A. It's gonna be difficult. We got Jefferson, we got Calhoun back, but Stephenson does have some heavy hitters. They should be able to make some noise. Columbia is a team in 2A. A lot of people are not gonna talk about them, but very talented across the board. Did what they were supposed to do today, and they're gonna be a team that definitely needs to catch your eye. They got guys all over the field, so it's gonna be interesting to see. But that is going to wrap up this segment inside Georgia High School recruiting via McEachern padded camp. Enjoy being out there and being able to capture some of this footage and talk about it, obviously, on the show. But that's going to do it. We're going to have more coming up after the break. Welcome back to Inside Georgia High School Recruiting. We have a special treat for you guys. We're going to do our underrated spotlight and highlight an outstanding player at Greenbrier. His name is Trupp. Been getting it done for years, coming off a 100-tackle season, 6 tackles for loss, and he played in our prestigious Georgia Elite Classic event where he had an outstanding performance there. But without further ado, let's bring on Trupp and highlight the special talent from Greenbrier. Cole, what's going on?
Going good. How are you doing?
Doing good, brother. I appreciate you coming on, man. I wanted to highlight your special talent, man, and just talk a little bit about you, man. So how's everything going? How's the summer been so far?
It's been really good. We've been progressing really good, and the last few days we've actually had a padded camp that been letting us hit a little bit. You know, we like that. So yeah, it's been going really good, and I have confidence for the season.
For sure. Now, the padded camp, where was that hosted at, and what were some teams you guys went against?
It is. Yeah, it was hosted at Greenbrier,
okay.
And it's a lot of Richmond County schools. We actually will commonly have Lincoln County come over. It was Washington, Wilkes, Harlem, and sometimes we'll have like Screven County, and it's usually not our in-region schools in the area. Yes, because of course they don't want to show us anything, but yeah, it's definitely good competition.
For sure. Just tell me a little bit about obviously not your story, but just growing up and playing for Greenbrier. I know you played for the middle school, high school. You know you are bred through a really good program, but just what has that been like coming through there and continue to make your name for yourself?
It's been great. My brother played for Greenbrier, so I always grew up around it, and I was always at the games, and I knew that that's what I was going to be doing. And I mean, it's awesome to have the fan base and the community that we have around our school, and especially now that I can have such a crucial part in our team and do so much for our community by having a good football team. Of course, the last few years we've struggled winning some games, but we had a much better season last year, and I have a lot of confidence for this season as well.
Yes, you did. And obviously, you know, leadership is an important component for you, obviously, for Greenbrier. But what's a part of your game you feel like people don't know about, Cole, when it comes to evaluating your film or even having a conversation with you that you would like for others to know?
One thing I would say is I feel like I'm really familiar with a lot of aspects of the game just from playing every position. I grew up playing about anywhere you could name and rec. I was the kick returner, the punt returner. I'd be the middle linebacker. I was the quarterback. I knew everything about the offense, and so I feel like I'm really familiar with all the spots. And it's really important for our team because even guys that aren't in my position group, I can still help them along and kind of see things that maybe the coaches might not see.
100%. And then going back to the summer, you played in a really good camp. You obviously did your thing. Let's talk about South Carolina real quick. That was the most recent one. How did that go?
It went good. I'm definitely seeing a lot of progress, getting a lot quicker, because that's really been my biggest thing. I've always had the size, and really just over the last year, I've been really putting in work to get quicker and working on my coverage. And I did very well at South Carolina. I was locking down.
100%. And so you say you were doing work to do quicker. So I got to ask you about one of those things that you do. I see you be on the beach sometimes working out, doing the little, agility drills. How has that helped your game, and why the beach of all places?
Well, of course, like if I have access to sand like that, it's really good, especially for like my joints and ankles and everything. It's really good at strengthening those. And also, just as you know, the sand is slow and it gets really tiring. So just working through that sand, it makes the turf and it makes the grass just feel like slick. Makes them play fast,
100%. So playing fast, obviously. So I want to break that down just a little bit more. So when you're a linebacker, right? Do you want to be able to read and react faster, or do you want to be in a situation where you can go and, like, let's say a play is going to happen, screens happen. You know it's going to happen before it even happens. You can blow the play up. What's the key to that, you think?
A lot of it, I think, is just watching film
Mm.
and you really got to be familiar with the other team's offense. And same thing with a lot of our in-county schools. We've been playing with these kids for a long time, and we've been playing around these teams and these offenses, and just being familiar with what they like to do, and out of certain sets, you can kind of you can jump things. And of course, sometimes it's kind of a gamble, but with the speed that I'm kind of developing, you kind of give yourself more wiggle room to make mistakes because you can make up for it with your speed.
For sure. Now I want to talk just a little bit about obviously your recruiting and the latest there. Let's talk about this Georgia camp that you went at. So tell me how that worked. Did you already have an offer lined up with Southern, or did they, like, after they seen you, they offer? Talk about the latest there.
Well, how it kind of went was I went to the Kennesaw State Mega Camp, and I performed very well at that. And I spoke to the Georgia Southern linebacker coach, Coach Garwig, and he he he's very impressed by my performance, but he wanted to see a few of my first senior games, uh, just to kind of see how I've developed as a player, in games. Well, then going into that Georgia camp, I performed very well at that Georgia camp as well, and he even said I kind of forced his hand, because I did very well at those two camps 2 weeks in a row, and he decided to offer me. So
100%. And so,
yeah.
so obviously you got Southern. Just tell the audience just a little bit about some other schools that's been showing interest or other offers that you had.
My first offer was from Western Kentucky.
Okay.
He coached at Davis Merritt. He came by the school, and they really liked my film, were really interested, and offered me at the school. And that was my first offer I got. That was, I believe, in maybe March or April, and then since then, I've gotten a lot of interest between like Sunbelt schools and just a lot of schools that
Okay.
I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, with recruiting, I've kind of always had the interest, and
Yes, sir.
now schools are kind of starting to pull that trigger.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And
Mhm.
obviously, I know they're going to come see you. So
Yeah.
the exposure's been important. So two platforms I want to ask you about, Cole.
Yes.
Obviously, MVP camp, you balled there,
Mhm.
did a really good
Yes.
job there, and then obviously the Georgia League Classic. How do you feel those things have maybe helped you getting out there more for these colleges?
Yeah, that MVP camp, I would really point that out as kind of the start of it, because um, that was really the camp that it showed how much I've developed speed wise and just as a player since last season, and that was where I got a lot of attention with Georgia as well.
100%. And then what about the League Classic?
Oh yeah, and then with the Elite Classic, I did perform there as well, and you know how it just comes down to take advantage of opportunities, and
Yes, sir.
especially with an opportunity like that where you can play on TV around a lot of really good coaches that have a lot of really good connections and a lot of really good players. Um, I think that was really important to getting exposure for me.
Gotcha. I 100% agree. So I want to ask about this upcoming season. Obviously, Cole, I know you're looking forward to, making your mark, having coaches see you, maybe even going for some fall visits. So
Mhm.
what is something that these coaches should know that you bring to the table besides obviously your size, your strength, and obviously you being faster?
Well, um, I'm actually top 10 in my class for GPA.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
never had a B. I've always been a very academic kid on top of football because student comes first, as many coaches would say.
Yes, sir.
So
All right, man. Well, I know we got to wrap up. I want to say thanks so much, man. You were a great guest. Obviously, I'll do another film breakdown on you, man, and try to get you out there for more exposure, man. But you're doing a great job, Cole, and I appreciate you spending the day and this time with me.
yes, sir.
All right. Yes, sir. Cole Trupp, guys, a name to know here in the state of Georgia. He's been getting it done for quite some time out of Greenbrier, over 100-plus tackles. Guys, that's going to conclude this segment. We'll have more coming up after the break. Welcome back to Inside Georgia High School Recruiting. Appreciate you guys tuning in yet again. We have a special guest in the building. Shout out to Coach Rock as well from the Stephenson Jaguars. But we're going to talk to Troy Stiggers from Stephenson. He just came back from an OV, so we'll talk the latest about that, his recruiting, and obviously we'll break down a little bit of his film together. But can't wait to talk to him. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring him on. Troy, what's going on, brother?
What's going on? How you doing?
Doing good, brother. Appreciate you taking this time, man.
No problem.
Yes, sir. All right, Troy. So let's just talk real quick, man, about your OV. You obviously went to Old Dominion. How was everything? What did you enjoy most about the experience?
Man, it felt great being around a team that looks well collective, know each other the best way. The coaches made me feel like I was at home.
100%. Talk about your relationship with the defensive line coach there.
Man, the D-line coach really taught me, he showed me everything, showing me that, the D-line together is, really collective, really together. And he just made me feel like I was one of the players there.
100%, man. And obviously, I know recruiting is starting to heat up now. I know, obviously, dead period is right around the corner. So just what's next for you? Will Old Dominion be your last OV, or will you kind of schedule a couple others?
So my plan is to schedule another one with Georgia State and Toledo.
Okay, got you. So Georgia State, Toledo is on the books. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Just real quick, without going too in depth, just what do you like about those programs overall?
I really like the way they hold themselves accountable, because when I had the OV I just went today, I seen the way they hold each other accountable. When they was lifting together, they said get it up. They don't fail. And with Georgia State, especially the coaches there really text me every now and then, making sure I'm okay as a player, even as a person too. So it kind of makes me feel kind of special towards their programs.
For sure. Now, just real quick, Georgia State, how good would it feel for you, man, to put on for the city and be able to obviously stay home, have all your people come see you, your family, your friends, and be, hey, Ma, come downtown, come see me play. How much would that mean to you?
Man, it would mean a lot, especially with my dad. It would feel really great knowing that his hard work helping me get to the point where I am now just really will be special.
100%, man. Well, brother, I want to bring you on and do a little film breakdown with you, man. So let's just talk a little bit about your film. Go through a couple of minutes of it and just break down just what you think, your thoughts, and how you're reading and seeing the field.
All
right. So here we go. As this play, so you're playing obviously on the opposite side at the edge position here. So as we pause it, what's going through your head on this play?
Really, because that team really didn't have a good right tackle, so my goal was to get past them regardless with either a bull rush or just a ghost move regardless to get past them.
Gotcha. All right, so this one is against Meadow Creek, Troy. So same thing, but you obviously line up on the opposite hash. So what's kind of going on here?
Meadow Creek's not the best team, so I was kind of knowing me, probably the better D lineman that they went against all year. So I was I'm better than them, so I'm going to just get to where I need to be.
Now, when you're going and you're like that, Troy, obviously there you got a forced fumble I wanted to point out. So when you're going, are you looking to make that big special splash play, that turnover? What are you doing when you see kind of just the quarterback there kind of just munch meat at that point?
My goal wasn't really to get the ball off like that, but at the time, it was just get the quarterback really. But once I seen the ball on the ground, I was like, dang, I didn't know I did that till everybody got excited.
100%. Now this play, let's talk about this play before we roll it. So here it looks like you're lining obviously up in the interior. So what's kind of going on here for you?
My goal was to get to the quarterback, so it was kind of hurry up, get back there, but it was really I had to drop back in coverage to get the interception, I guess. I really don't remember this play a lot, so I had to drop back, get where I need to be, and get what I had to get.
Got you. Read that like a book. Yeah, so let's see where you're at here. Okay, so opposite edge. Ooh, I like the dip move. Okay, hold on. Pause that. Explain that a little bit for me. You lose a little bit of the repertoire there.
Yeah, so really since my wingspan is a lot big, longer than what most DNs have, so I use my arm length to my advantage, mostly the most O-line, because they can't get me once I have that long arm.
Okay. So look, I don't want other people to see this and use it to get you, but give me like 3 of your top like pass rush moves when you out there.
Hey, ghost, spin, dip.
Okay. Individually, why do you like each of those 3?
Spin move is cause like most of the O line think like, oh, I'm slow, like cause they think I'm a little slower because I play in. Nah. And once I beat them inside, I spin right back outside, had that outside containment, get the quarterback. Dip, it's kind of, I don't know, because I play basketball, so it's kind of easy to like get down there a little bit.
Okay.
Then the ghost moves, it's kind of like, because when I do a long arm, it's kind of like when I fake, like when I show it, they expect me to do the long arm, so I just bring that down and just go get quarterback.
100%. So obviously you mentioned the basketball element. So how long did you play basketball? You mind me asking? And then how has that helped you just in terms of on the football field?
Um, I've been playing basketball since I was about 5,
Wow.
and the basketball helped me a little bit because I'll say it helped me a little bit with the footwork and showing like, how do I say this? It helped me with the footwork and me being able to like move around a lot more.
Got you, 100%, man. And then just in terms of this season, I'm obviously ask about your D-line coach here in a second, but just in terms of this season, what are some things you're trying to accomplish?
Really, state championship. Really, but even that's one of the biggest goals for everybody. But another goal is really just since it's a new team, really get close with them. Not just as a team, but I mean, not as the players, but I want to get to know them personally in their personal life and all that.
Now, speaking of that, it's a lot of dogs on that defensive line. I got a chance to see you guys in the spring yourself. Obviously, got KJ Green, Sergio Mason. How exciting is that knowing you got a bunch of heavy hitters alongside yourself?
It was great knowing that I got a bunch of dogs on that D line with me, but people don't know what else is coming with it.
100%, man. And then just talk a little bit about, obviously, Coach Rock. I know he obviously coaches the defense. How has he helped you develop your game, obviously, on this level?
Coach Raw helped me a lot, especially like with the footwork ability to like just with everything, like especially like with the spin move a lot. I didn't know how to do it till he taught me really.
Wow. Okay. So let me ask. Let's break it down a little bit. How long did it take you to master just the spin move?
Probably like my freshman year.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Take you a little time. All right, man. I know we got a couple more before I let you go. So obviously, recruiting's coming obviously to a head a little bit. Ideally, when would you like to make a decision? Ideally.
Probably around the second game after we play either Dutchtown or after we play Arabia Mountain.
Okay. Dutchtown, Ruby Mount. Got you. And then I'm a college coach. Troy, what can you bring to my team that others can't?
The ability to be a team player, not just be I or me. Be able to just play multiple positions because I play tight end too. So whatever y'all need, I'll just do whatever y'all need me to do.
100%. Last question. Anybody you want to shout out, man, before we let you go?
Man, shout out Coach Rock, my dad, especially my dad being there for me since I was a little kid. Coach Rock, especially me, helped me with recruiting, all that.
100%. Well, Troy, I want to say thanks so much, man. I know you're in the car driving back from your OV, man, but just appreciate you hopping on the call and coming on, my brother.
No problem.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Troy Stiggers, a name to know here in the state. We know how good, obviously, that defensive front's going to be for the Stephenson Jaguars this year. We've talked about them, obviously, numerous of times. KJ Green, obviously, right now, 4-star prospect, one of the best ones in the country. 2027 can now be obviously contacted. You also got obviously Sergio Mason, 2026 defensive lineman, outstanding guy in the interior of the pass rush, and other guys as well. I just know Amari Green and then obviously Troy Stiggers. That defensive line is going to be something special for the Stephenson Jaguars, and they're going to be a team to beat here in 3A. All right, guys, that's going to conclude this segment. We'll have more coming up after the break. Welcome back to Inside Georgia High School Recruiting with Najeh Wilkins. I am your host. We have a special treat for you. We have Julian Colvard on. He's probably one of the top insiders, man, has great relationships with all the kids around the state. We're just going to pick his brain a little bit, get the latest that he's hearing about some of these top recruits, some of the players obviously he coaches, and the latest and everything that's going on in the Peach State. So without further ado, let's bring him on. Ju, what's going on, brother?
Man, out here at Georgia Tech, watching my kids ball out. One of my kids just got offered, and I think he's going on a visit right now in the middle of the 707.
Wow. Well, there you go. There's that. I mean, what has caught your eye so far when you've been at these 707s? I believe you've been at UGA, you've been at Tech. I mean, just what's caught your eye?
Really, the boy at Athens Academy, Keon, he came in with only one offer. I think it was Georgia State.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was snapping against Kale. It was 2 4-stars that were literally double teaming him.
Wow.
And he got open and scored on them twice, back-to-back plays. So after that, and the coach was like, "Who is this guy?" Gave him a rundown on the stats. Saw a little film because I got his highlight tape and screen recorded on my phone, so I don't have to pull up any links or anything like that. They went ahead and offered him. And then you got Georgia Tech. They got their eye on a running back. They a running back that's in Georgia that nobody thought would go to Georgia Tech. They might get him. Goes to a school that's red, white, and blue. And then I think Georgia Tech, yeah, they just picked up a commit at receiver in Southwest Cavs, Jordan Christie.
Yep.
And then you got somebody who's probably going to flip on Georgia at the last second. He told me he had his second thoughts.
Second thoughts.
A receiver. Yeah.
Okay, all right. There's that intel, man. Again, hey, if I can't say it enough, Ju is one of the top names to know. Him, QB Marcus, obviously Alex Benson, them brothers be knowing all of the intel. So, Ju, based off what you've seen, you've been covering the state for quite some time now. What do you think is the key when you talk to some of these college coaches for these recruits in terms of getting an offer, being able to go to a school and commit? For guys that you like to highlight, similar to myself, underrated guys, what's the key in your eyes?
So on the coach's side, the key for them is being able to connect with the kid on a personal level. Like the coaches have to come. A lot of coaches make the mistake and try to make it a sales pitch every time they come into an interaction with a player. You know, we can get you to the NFL. We're gonna develop you. We're gonna get you this stats and this stats. You get a degree from this school. Like, man, like all the schools are almost the same. All of y'all got nice facilities. There's nothing special about your school that stands out from another school. Connect with the kid on a genuine level and don't make it about football all the time, because the kids recognize that, and it turns a lot of them off. Oh, and for the coaches, if you don't know, you can't BS the kids. All the top kids in the country are in a giant group chat on Instagram. It's about 300 of them in there, and they talk. So I'm going to leave that at that. But on the kids' side, you got to know that it's a height, weight, speed requirement to even get in the game, like to get recruited. If you are a receiver and you're 5'8", if you don't run a 4.3 or a 4.4 consistently, or you're not running a 10.9, 10.8 or better on the track in the 100-meter dash, it's not going to recruit you. It's a height, weight, speed thing. If you look at all the kids that Georgia just signed, I think it was like around 20-ish high school players. Might be 1 or 2 that are under 6 feet. Bo Walker is one of them, but he plays running back, so being tall is not really a requirement. So you got to have the measurables, and if you don't have the measurables, look at going D2 or FCS, and you got to be able to move well. Sometimes you don't have to be the best player, you don't have to have the best stats, you don't have to make the most plays, but if you're coordinated, if they see that like you understand the game and you don't have too many flaws in your game that they have to spend a whole bunch of time coaching or trying to work with, they will get you. Corey Hadley Jr. at Sandy Creek is the perfect example. One of the top safeties in the country, 5-star. I think he's ranked like 20th or 21st overall, about 24/7. If you look at his career picks, after 2 years, 0. So you don't have to have the best stats, but he can play the game. And when you look at him, it's very obvious that he understands what's going on.
100%. Great point out by you, brother. Tell us, what's the latest around Terrence Favors' recruitment? Everybody's asking. Obviously, Georgia's been there. They've been recruiting him, obviously some. We know he's obviously locked in with Boise State, but what's the latest there for the audience that's watching?
So with Georgia, he just took his official visit. Georgia's Georgia. Yep. Nothing's been signed yet. So just because the kid commit, it really doesn't mean anything until they put pen to paper in December. But he had a good time on Georgia. He posted the pictures. They look nice. He got he has an OV, an official visit to Tulane, I think tomorrow, but sometime this weekend. And they've been on him hard. I know he has a great relationship with this guy named Braden Berezowitz. He coaches Nichols at Tulane. He's probably going to get a lot more kids out of Georgia to come to Tulane, because that's one of the coaches who connect on a personal level. Very genuine, authentic guy. I love him myself. But he's sticking with Boise so far. He's still committed. He was supposed to go on a official visit to Louisville, I think May 30th. They end up canceling because he was committed. And if he wasn't committed, if he would have decommitted, they would have brought him on. But he didn't do it.
Right.
So after he leaves Tulane, I know he's headed to Appalachian State straight from New Orleans, and we're gonna see how it goes. July is the dead period, so I honestly don't know what's gonna happen with him. I'm assuming that he's gonna stick with Boise State, but I don't know.
Got you. All right. So obviously that's Terry's favorites. Let's just talk just outside of recruiting with Deshaun Fed. Just what did you see from him, Ju, that he was like, man, I gotta highlight this kid. I gotta get him out there. What qualities did Deshaun Fed exhibit for you to say, hey, I should take a chance on this guy?
Dude, every quality that Chad Ochocinco displayed.
Okay.
Thought I was looking at Chad Johnson, then I had to remember, like, oh, he's not 17 years old. He's a grown man, but that boy is twitch. He has very crazy subtleness in his routes, very explosive. He makes all his routes look the same. So he's coming off the ball. You don't know what he's going to get you with. He can catch the ball on you. He can go deep. He consistently makes the first person miss. That's very obvious in watching his highlight. He catches about 15 to 20 hitches, but the first guy misses every single time. So even in ninth grade, when we had him in 707, we had Darnell Kelly throwing on the ball. We just throw it up, and he was like a Chico. He'd just go grab it. Or he'd burn somebody deep, or he'd cook them on a slant or a post. So it was like, dang, man, this boy got the juice. He can't be stopped. He's literally unstoppable. So I had to help him get more exposure with coaches. And I think he was coming into February with no visits. And then by the end of May, I think we took about 10 or 11 visits together.
Got you, brother. And then I'm gonna go ahead and let you pub him. We've had our conversations about him a lot, and there's a quarterback down south in Worth County that you really like. So I know we on TV. I'm gonna let you pub him and see what you like about his game.
Oh yeah, Lyndon Worthy, the bomb thrower. Oh my gosh, he's probably when it comes to breaking the record for most passing yards in Georgia history, regardless of classification, he probably has the best shot. I told him that if he can go back-to-back seasons with 3950, then he's going to pass Aaron Philo to be the number one passer in Georgia history in terms of yardage. But he's definitely going to finish top 5. I told him that he has to have some playoff runs. He's been throwing, I think his freshman year, he did around 2,600, 27 touchdowns, and he came back his sophomore year, still an underclassman, did 3,700, 37 touchdowns, 6'3", has an arm. So I'm looking forward to him just putting up more numbers, and currently working to get him way more exposure than he has been getting. I know he got invited to throw at Georgia. He got invited to throw at Alabama and Clemson. So he's definitely on the radar, but I don't think people are really pulling the trigger like that right now because they're focused on these official visits with the 2026 class. And then because nothing has been signed on paper, they're trying to focus on keeping these kids committed till December. So I think after December, I think it starts to pick up more for him. And then after that second signing day, when it's officially done for 2026 in February, that's when I think the offers will flood in for him. I see him as somebody who can. He's a 25 plus offer guy. He has the height. He's not that big. He's probably about 165. He's skinny, but colleges have cafeterias and weight rooms. So as long as the cafeteria and weight room not broken, that shouldn't be an issue.
For sure. Last question, Ju. Put us on some game with some young thoroughbreds we need to watch. I know about Javon Metlock, but who's some other guys we need to know in the 28, 27, 29 class?
29. You got Nabril Culpepper. He plays at Farrell. He's going to be a good corner. He's about 5'9", 5'10" right now. I'm looking at him. He might be 6'1". You got a young kid at 2028. Other than Caden Kent at Cartersville, you got a young guy at Stephenson. He plays corner. He's 6'1". He just got offered.
Aaron Chastain.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he just got offered by Georgia.
Yeah, he's nice. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, and then you got John Matthews. He played on our 7-on-7 team with Noonan.
Noonan Roberts.
Plays receiver. Yeah, he just got offered by Georgia too.
I think
Those are the. Yep. So those are the top 2028 guys that I can think of off the top of my head. But I'm probably gonna be getting some more when it comes to like playing 7-on-7 and stuff. I'm gonna take a deeper dive. Alex Benson is the one who knows more about them. They still babies to me. They going into the 10th grade.
Yes, sir. Well, Jules, that's all the time we got, man. I'll say thanks so much for taking the time. I know you're at Georgia Tech 7-on-7 right now, but appreciate you just obviously highlighting the kids and obviously showing people we need to watch out for.
All right, cool, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. Anytime, my guy. All right, guys, this is Julian Colvard, man. Like I said, one of the best insiders in the state, man. He knows information before the information gets out. Always appreciate him and everything that he does, and always obviously plugging me into the intel. Guys, that's going to do it for today's show. Hope you enjoyed that exclusive interview and obviously insider intel from Julian Colvard, one of the biggest insiders we have here in the state of Georgia. Comment below other topics, other players you would like to see on the show. It's been a jam-packed one, 2 shows this week. Hope you guys enjoy it, and you know what to do. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and subscribe to your Score Atlanta YouTube page, and you will see us on the McEachern Sports Network. Catch you in the next one.